Well, crap. So it looks like at my last check, Trump was one seat away from winning and has called that he has won. And let's see. Trump is 277 and Harris is 224. So Trump has won the U.S. election as of 4:25 a.m. on November 6th. And I think this is an important point for people to remember. Crap. It's a big motivator as to why I'm here and why I'm doing this podcast and why I'm Ravenfortruth, because the truth is going to be very important. Personally, I don't care what side it comes from, as long as it is accurate and provably true, and that is my whole intention here with this podcast. I'm saying it right now. This is to speak the truth and nothing but. I will admit that I will probably be wrong at some point, and I will probably make mistakes, and I will probably just mess something up. But I'm committed to maintaining that trust and building that trust to the point where if something like that does happen, I can correct it. And it can just be corrected, because I think we need more spaces in this world that are just focused on what is actually true and not just on the beliefs that we have and the systems that we build up in our mind to be true. The data doesn't lie, right? Like, I am a very spiritual person, but I'm also very analytical and science focused, and that stuff is important to me. And looking into being transgender, looking into transgender stuff and transgender issues and learning the data on it is the thing that helped me come to terms with and accept that I'm trans, and that it's okay for me to be trans, and that it's okay to come out, and it's okay to experiment with my gender expression and just sort of learn this journey. So, well, now I just have one more reason to be here, right? That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is to me. Obviously, I'm Canadian. Trump being elected doesn't immediately directly affect me, although it does immediately directly affect people I know. That's just the weight of it. And I'm really sick of all these high production things coming out where people are just talking out their butts, because they could be talking about things that are more important, and they could be talking about things that matter, and instead they're just doing fluff pieces so that they can sell more merch. And I would love to get merch rolling on this. I'm super poor, so being able to afford life would sure be nice, and I would sure appreciate that. But I refuse. I'm not going to sell out to do it. I'm just not. I'll find another way. I'll do it a different way. I'm not just going to follow the capitalist path, because what's that gotten us? That's gotten us a bunch of fake books flooding the book market, and a bunch of fake stuff flooding Etsy and flooding Amazon, and all these places where people go to buy stuff is just full of fake stuff. And I'm so sick of fake stuff. This is one of my favorite shirts. Do you know why? It's mostly polyester, but it's still a real product. I've had this shirt for a decade, and it's not falling apart on me. It's got some stains, sure, but it's a white shirt, and I have ADHD, so that's not that surprising to me. And it's time. So I'm going to have guests on this podcast, and I'm going to vet them. And if you want to be a guest on my podcast, please hit me up. My email is listed. It's Makersmagik with a K @gmail.com. And I want to interview you. I want to talk to you. I want to get the truth out of people. I don't want to hear some fluffy BS. I don't want to hear your story about what you would like to present. I want to hear the real. I want to hear the truth. I want to hear the reality of it. Because we need more of that in this world, and it needs to happen, and I'm going to be a part of it. So this is just me taking another step. This is how I bring Raven for Truth and Raven for Tea together in one thing. Because the spiritual side of me and the activism side of me work in tandem, and they work together, and they love each other just like I love you. Now, do I have a plan? No. I'll tell you right now, no. I don't have a big one. Like, I have a general idea, and I've done podcasting before. Like, I did a 3-podcast Dungeons & Dragons podcast that was, honestly, a higher production value than this is going to be. Because this is just going to be me talking. And the other one, I had intros and I had little skits, and it was fun, and I would love to get back there, but I'm a single mom. Like, I just don't have the time. If you see my wall, this is the stuff that's more important to me, but this stuff is also important, and this stuff is how I'm going to prove to the world that just because I went on disability doesn't mean my life is over. Because I'm so sick of people thinking that. And I'm so sick of people putting people down. And I'm so sick of just struggle for all of us. So let's draw Oracles of Shadow and Light card just to get a general reading. I'm not going to do a big Oracle reading or anything like that. I just want to see what this energy is for this podcast. Like, because I didn't plan this. I woke up early this morning. And I didn't know what to do. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to record this. And I'll probably edit it today and I'll post it today. And we'll see where it goes. This means I'm going to have to dig into like podcast land again and look into things to upload. And we'll see what happens. So, Spirit, what's the energy for this reading? What's the energy for today? What's the energy for this podcast? It's time to be brave. Fairy of the Highlands. So yeah, we all need a little bravery and we all need a little courage. And don't be like aggressive with it. You don't have to be mean to be brave. You don't have to be mean to have courage. And most importantly, if you're being assertive, but you're being a little dink about it, and you're being mean to people, then you're not being assertive, you're being aggressive. And there is a big difference. If the vein pops out on your forehead, that's not being assertive. Being assertive is just being sure of yourself and being in a position where you're not going to react. But you can still state your boundaries and what you expect to happen without yelling at somebody. That's not being assertive. That's being mean. And if that's how you handle assertiveness, then you really need to see a therapist, because obviously you're not in tune with your emotions correctly and you're making mistakes. And I know people who those mistakes have cost them their jobs. Is that you? Because if it is, I bet that hit. Heck, I'm sure somebody will see that and they'll turn this off because they're not ready to hear that. They're not ready to hear that message that you're pushing too hard. And we live in a world that already pushes too hard because we've built up a society that's designed to push too hard. I guess this is just my intro. This is hey, this is a thing. Hey, this is here. I'm still going to do Alice Rambles. I'm still going to do my Oracle readings. I'm going to do my weekly collective read on Patreon. And I want to think of something monthly to do over there, but I just haven't yet. So that'd be cool. I think I'm just going to sit here with you for a minute because crap. That's what we need to do. is just sit and think on it and calm down. That's what most people need to do. Me, I'm going to keep doing this because this calms me. I find peace here. I'm going to be on a podcast on the 11th. That's 5 days from now. And I'm super excited for it. It's on Raven's Mystical Creatures is the name of the YouTube channel. And I think it's going to be really good. It's going to be really fun. We're going to have a good conversation. And I'll get to announce that I'm doing this. And I think that will lead to more people wanting to be guests. I already have some people I'm definitely going to ask because they are just true people. And that's going to be the most important thing to me here. Like, I really like podcasts like Ritual where they bring on these people, but like a lot of those people aren't quote unquote real people. Like, your average person isn't going to do an ultra marathon. Your average person isn't going to like do a race around some jungle island where they just get a map and a compass. Like, that's a very highly specialized person, and it's really important to have those people to like be inspirational and aspirational. But most of us are just regular people. I would much rather talk to the cashier at my grocery store. I'm sure she has some amazing stories. And, you know, if you don't talk to that person, maybe you should. Because a lot of them are just real people. And we need more real people on the internet. In a space where everybody is using AI to make themselves look as best version of themselves as possible. Oh, better. Sorry about that. Nose problem. Woke up this morning and it was like, I'm going to be runny. Probably because I lapsed and smoked like cigarettes. So that's my struggle. I jumped on that train. It's just one of many addictions I've had in my life, and it's going away. Like, I'm over it. I'm actually done. This was like the hiccup that proved it more than anything. Like, I've said this a lot. I've said it a lot. I've been quitting a long time. It's been hard. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I've done some hard things. But through all of it, I smoked. And that sucked. It hurt. And I didn't care because I hurt. And it was just one more way that I could end this journey sooner, right? Without, like, doing the extreme thing. It was the softcore version of self-harm. But that's what it is. Like, I can't deny it. I don't even want to. Once I admitted it, it became so much easier for me to let it go. And I still haven't fully. But, like, it's done. I quit drinking 5 years ago. I wasn't a big drinker, but, like, man, I feel the social repercussions of that still, let alone coming out as trans. Now that was socially isolating. That was a big experience in that. That was the last of the people let it go. But I held on. That's the important part. Because it's important. Like, we need to hang on, especially now. If you are on this, like, left side of things, it's really important to hang on. Because now is when people are going to learn the most. Like, I truly believe that. This happened for a reason. People didn't learn last time, apparently. So that sucks. But, to be honest, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm just not. I wish I was. I wish it was more surprising to me. But it's not, so I'm here, and I'm going to make a podcast. And my first episode is going to be super short because I don't have a lot to talk about, and I don't really know what to say. But I did decide I'm going to be here. And that's the important part for now. Everything else will come. Everything else will follow. I already know how to do this, so I'm just going to keep doing it. And like, if you watch this and you're like, oh, I've never been on a podcast, I'd kind of like to be on a podcast, but you don't think you're famous enough? Good. Let me know. I want you on this podcast. I don't want famous people on here. It's like a prerequisite. I'm setting it now. Like 50,000 and up. No, thank you. 50,000 followers and up. No, thank you. You're not the person I want to talk to. Like, yeah, that's not a lot of people. In social media, that's not a lot of people. Lots of people hit 50,000 followers. And they live like moderately comfortable lives off of that. I don't care. I don't want to talk to them. I want to talk to that single mom who has like 5 followers and nobody on her friends list. Like, none of her friends will follow her or react to her content or comment on it, or even just like message her privately and encourage her. I would rather talk to her because she keeps going. Those are some of the hardiest people I've ever met. I resonate with the term mama because I grew up being raised by mamas. Mamas to me are those community mothers, those people who take in all the other kids and take care of them and make sure that they have food and make sure that they have childcare and make sure that they are living lives, not just surviving, but actually living a life and getting to be a kid. That's all I try and do for my kids. I don't care where they go in their lives. I don't care what they do with their futures. I care that they're happy today. Because that's all that matters. They're going to fix the world. I just know that. Everything's going to keep going on. And like talking to the little people like me, that's going to make a difference. And I may move that number. It may be bigger than 50,000 at some point. When I hit 50,000 followers, I guess I'll have to reconsider, won't I? Because then I would feel like a hypocrite. Like, I'm not allowed to be on my own show. I'm definitely not allowed to be a guest. But I sure could be a host. And I would love to be a guest on other people's podcasts. I've been a guest on Super Daddy Club. That was a good one. It was like the 4th episode or something. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed those group of guys, and I really wish I knew what happened in the background to change the way that we were interacting. Because something did. I know that. And I don't know what it was. People don't tell me stuff like that. They're scared of the reaction they'll get. They're like, oh, you're 6'7". I can't disappoint you because you're 6'7". So if I disappoint you, then my life is in danger. No, it's not. I may get upset, but your life's not in danger. People need to get more comfortable with upsetting other people. Like, you need to just accept that it's a part of life, right? And I'm sure a lot of mamas in my life that would say the same thing. They're the ones who put that in my head. Heck, they're the ones who raised me. At the end of the day, they did most of it. Like, I learned more from being at babysitters' houses and being in school about how to work and live in a group than I ever did from my family, because my family didn't help me. Like, they were like, just grow up. Like, as you grow up, you'll figure it out. But they didn't help me figure it out. They were like, no, we put a roof over your head. Oh, so that means I don't have parents. That's all that meant. Oh, cool, I had a roof over my head and the fridge was full of food. I was alone. We lived in the country and I was alone for most of it. I got in a lot of trouble. I almost died. And there was nobody around. Nobody would have known until like hours later. But here we are. I made it. I survived. Yay. In the early 2000s, I was in survival mode. And like, I'm sure most of you were. A lot of you. A lot of people who see this. We all start in survival mode. And the only thing we have to take care of us at the beginning is our parents. And they're really important. They make or break it. And the real shame that I've run into is that a lot of the older generations that I've come across, they can't hack it. They can't handle the shame. They need to believe that they did things right and that Sure, they did the best they could, and that's good enough. No, it's not. The best you could is just the best you could. And if you made mistakes, you should apologize for them and own up to them and do better in the future. Not just say, well, it is what it is. No, I'm done with that mentality. It is what it is isn't good enough. We have hit a critical mass in society where that doesn't matter. We're not trying to survive against the bears. We're trying to survive against each other. And we're trying to hit this point of equilibrium in the world where we don't just die, because it will kill us. The planet will kill us. If we don't take care of it, we won't be here anymore. That's not a sad reality. That's not a harsh reality. That's just reality. And it would sure suck to watch this all crumble. And it would sure suck to be in some future timeline of like future self and like find this and find someone who was trying to speak out and trying to say what we're doing is wrong and what we need to be doing is this. And like, I don't even really know what that is. What do we need to be doing? I don't know. I think it's take care of people and take care of the planet. Like, we are stewards. The only reason we are is because we have put ourselves in that position where we control it all. We wanted it. It's ours. Now, what are we going to do with it? That's the most important thing. Because, like, we've got people who are like, well, let's just punch a bunch of holes in the ozone layer, trying to build rockets so that we can go to a planet that doesn't have an ozone layer and see if we can build one there. Because we can't take care of the one we have, so we might be able to take care of a different one. I mean, sorry, Muskie, but I doubt it. Especially not with you in charge. I would say that to your face. I hope you see this, Elon Musk. I hope you know that I am saying to your face, your idea is sound, your execution is terrible, and you shouldn't be the one doing it. You should give the money that you're putting into SpaceX to NASA, period. Nothing else. Like, if you want to do that, cool. If you want to make a Tesla car, actually design it based off of Nikola Tesla's designs. I bet you it would work better. And I bet you people would care more. And I bet you could save the world. But what you're choosing to do is fight on the internet with people and blow through money like it's going out of style. Well, you're actively harming people by doing that. Every single one of your rockets that punches a hole in the ozone layer, you should have to pay for. And I mean like $1 billion. I don't think people realize how important it is. They almost destroyed it in the 90s, and they stopped it from happening with just a couple little tweaks. Like, little tweaks globally closed that hole up, and now there's like 100 of them. And what's the plan? To put more rockets through them. To do what? Like, sure, if there's a good reason, but the good reason right now is like, oh, I'm playing with design of rockets with millions of dollars, billions. But like, we still have people starving. It's going to get even worse. I live in Canada. We're not doing well. Like, your average person in Canada is not doing well. They inflate the numbers and they make it look like we're doing better than we are, but we're not. Most people I know can barely afford to eat in a month. We're like in the depression. My friends are learning how to cook with liver and hearts, even though they don't like it, because those are the cheaper meats that are available. And they haven't been available as a meat product until World War II, when we were running out of meat. It might have been World War I, actually. I'm not a history buff. I like it, but I'm not like proficient in it. I'm like your jack of all trades. I like everything a little bit. But like, yeah, I stopped eating meat for the most part. Like, when I get groceries, I get like one bulk thing of meat, and that's what I get for the entire grocery order. Beans and lentils. It's a way cheaper protein source. Like, way cheaper. I can get a big bag of lentils for $2. It's like a kilogram. A kilogram of steak here is like $35 to $40. I live in Alberta. We're known for our beef, and it's more expensive for me to get it than for me to get beans that are shipped across the world. And then people wonder what's wrong. Why are things not working? Why are things falling apart? Well, because you buy one of those little cups of peaches and it's grown in South America and packaged in Thailand and then sold here. So it had to cross the Atlantic Ocean twice, from when it was picked off of a tree to when it was in a grocery store. What? What? Why? I don't care. I don't need dragon fruit. I don't need avocados. They're good, but got other sources of good fats. I don't need a ton of corn. I could eat like corn once a year and I would be happy. But that's like a staple in most things. America grows so much corn that they don't know what to do with it. Like, they turn it into everything. Why? Like, I don't know. I'm just a schmuck. I'm just a person. I'm a gender fluid person. I'm just a rando. Half the people don't even care what I have to say. A lot of them think I'm crazy. I'm not. I'm sound of mind. And I can prove that. Someone could come after me for that all they wanted. I'm more sound now than I've ever been. And like, sure, you want to drive me crazy? Take me off estrogen for like a month. You could probably get a crazy version of me because like that's how important hormones are. And I don't produce the other one anymore. Awkward, right? But like, isn't that worth talking to people about? Isn't that neat? I think so. I think it's really interesting. I want to talk to more people about it. And that's why I want to do this podcast, is to talk to people. Because I like people. Y'all are cool. People are awesome. Like, our society, the societies are amazing. And we need to fix the mistakes, and we need to fix the flaws, and we need to treat people better as a base. And then the future is, wow, guys. Like, the future is amazing. But we can't dwell on that. We got to just sit in this present moment, right? We got to just go forward. And that's what this is going to help do. I'm obviously going to put some effort and some thought into how I want to lay this out better and how I want to set it up. And I would like to actually take advantage of, like, the setups I have here to make this into something higher production. But like I said, I'm a single mom. And if I'm going to do that, I need people to help me. And I don't have those people. So like, if you want in the door, we're splitting everything with everybody who's a part of this equally. There's no qualms about that. There's no flip-flopping about that. There's no, oh, this big sum came in and I want most of it. No. If somebody helps me with the back end of this, they get an equal share. This is a cooperation-based podcast built on community, and it will continue to be that. Even after I'm gone, I hope this continues on after I'm not a part of it. I've got other things to do. I want to be so busy that I hand this off to someone else. Anyway, I'm running out of stuff to say, and this is already, I could put this under Alice Rambles. I'm not. This is Ravenfortruth. If you enjoyed this, please check out my Linktree, check out my socials. Donations would definitely be appreciated as we are trying to get out of survival mode. Me and my 2 kids. My story is available. I should probably share more of it. I should share more of it. And maybe that's what episode 2 will be about. This is like the intro, what the heck is this? And then episode 2 is just going to be, who is Raven? Who is Allie? And I can give you like a rundown of what got me here and what made me decide to do this. That's it. That's all. Later, gators. Peace-loving unicorns. Allie out.